Hello and welcome to Candidates on the Clock, sponsored by the Newton County Chamber of Commerce. I'm your host, Lanier Sims, and today we're joined by Incumbent Tonya Anderson that is running for Georgia State Senate, District 43. Ms. Anderson, could you take a couple minutes and tell us more about yourself?
Sure. First, thank you for having me. I am delighted to serve as the current state senator for Georgia's 43rd District. It covers portions of DeKalb, portions of Newton, and now, after redistricting, the entire county of Rockdale County. I am a retired United States Air Force veteran after more than 21 honorable years. I currently serve in the Senate on Military and Veteran Affairs Committee, Economic Development, because my district is booming and thriving thanks to Newton County. I also serve on redistricting and reapportionment. I serve on special judiciary as a secretary. We have some of the fun bills and then some of the not so fun bills. I also serve on regulated industries. And so it's been a delight, as well as MARTOC. So MARTOC is an oversight committee, but it deals with the transportation. And the I-20 East Corridor is definitely in need of that. So it is my delight to serve there. I'm an ordained minister, a life coach, and I'm super excited about serving my district. It's an absolute delight.
As you're aware, we had citizens to submit questions. So we're going to jump into them now. First question that was submitted: are you willing to support legislation to offer nonpartisan local elections?
I am, that question has been asked of me before. Willing to support nonpartisan elections can be interesting, it can be difficult, it can be tricky. And as a legislator who is transparent, who has always had relationships with both parties, as a Democrat, I've had relationships with the other parties. I believe it's important for people to know because their interests are not overlooked, their interests are supported. There are some positions that I believe should remain nonpartisan, and one could be the highest public servant, public security or public officer would be the sheriff. I believe that office should remain nonpartisan, but there are some offices that, so as far as judges, they should be nonpartisan anyway. But there are certain offices that should remain partisan because of the interests of those that are represented.
Okay, thank you. Next question. What's your view, or would you support legislation to remove politics from the redistricting process by using automation or appointed boards to remove partisan interests from that process?
Absolutely, I would. I have supported legislation that was introduced to have independent agencies or groups to produce redistricting or fair maps, as we should. I don't think that a lot of times politics should be included, but there is another argument that says, well, politics should be included, or certain officers or persons should be included because they know the community better. But I do believe that if there's an independent agency, that they will listen to the community and take that to heart. And that is something that I did work on. Even though I was on Senate Redistricting and Reapportionment Committee, I did support fair and transparent maps.
Okay, thank you. What is your view on the expansion of Medicare and Medicaid?
I believe that we should fully expand Medicaid, as health care is a right. We have a crisis in this state. We've closed hospitals in rural Georgia. We've closed mental hospitals. We've closed clinics. And I'm saying we've closed them because as a state, we have not supported it as one Georgia. Fortunately, there has been a fight on the front, and I have been on the front line of that fight to fully expand Medicaid to make the opportunity of healthcare or access to quality, affordable healthcare a dream or just a right. And at the end of the day, sickness and disease knows no color. It knows no party. It happens, and people should have access to it.
Thank you. Our next question gets into jobs a little bit. Would you support, or what's your view on an increase in our state minimum wage?
I have supported that year after year. An increase in minimum wage would allow people to have the ability to live, to not have to choose between their medication and their utility bill, not have to choose between food and a utility. So I believe that increasing the state minimum wage as just a matter of human dignity our minimum wage should be increased.
Okay, thank you. We're going to jump over a little bit into economic development. As you know, Rivian is slated to make Social Circle its new headquarters. What do you think needs to be done to prepare your constituents for the arrival of Rivian?
So the main thing that needs to happen is education. We need to educate the community on the economic impact, the possibility of a workforce that would come from our county. That has been my conversation over the years, is to hire locally. And it doesn't always mean that people have to go to college, but it could mean hands-on training. And a lot of times that's all people need is a little bit of guidance, and they get it. And it helps them to move forward in the company. But I believe that we educate the community and find a way for those who have not yet embraced it, find a way to help people embrace the change, the growth, and how it will improve our community and our state. We talk about being the #1 state for business, but we also have to make sure that we're not leaving people behind when it comes to educating them on the growth.
Okay, thank you. Next question. What's your view, or would you support eliminating state income taxes?
I am so happy you asked that question, because I just supported a bill that eliminates the taxes off of the pension of veterans who are retired and receive a benefit. I came from the great state of Florida. Now I'm in the great state of Georgia, and in Florida there is no state income tax. So I had to catch up with Georgia before I got left behind, and I think that it is something that we can explore and consider.
Okay, thank you. Historically, none of our local delegation lives within the boundaries of Newton County. What can you do to make more attempts for appearances, planning for upcoming legislative sessions, and general presence in the county? So I know I have a general presence in the county because Newton County has made it so easy to represent them. It is I won't say the love of my life, but it is definitely the love of my service to be in Newton County. It is absolutely important that we have a greater presence, or that I have a greater presence. And as much as I'm called on, I try to show up. I show up to the community events. I show up to chamber events. I show up to events where I know that I can reach people that I may not reach on a daily basis, or in an area that they may not live in or participate. So I am from the FFA camp all the way to Smith Store Road, all the way to the senior center. I am all over Newton County, and I'm in Kroger and Publix and all those good stores that help build the economy here as well. So I would welcome any invitations to continue to be a part of Newton County. Okay, thank you. What are the challenges that face your district that must be addressed in the next 4 years?
The challenges in my district are transportation. One of them is transportation, and I say transportation because I-20 gets crowded. It gets crowded very quickly. And I know that people are going to work, and it will take us expanding or widening the expressway in order to get that done. So my partnership with our federal office, our congressman, to help bring a larger area, or I'm sorry, widening the our I-20 corridor so that access to wherever we need to go is not as congested as it needs to be. So transportation, of course, healthcare. We have Piedmont Newton, and I just visited there a couple of days ago to make sure that we have our state departments support the services in that hospital. And education. I am pro-public education, but I also support our academies, our STEM programs, all of the programs that help make our children better and brighter, as well as our teachers. We have to support our teachers because a teacher touches the life of every human being.
Okay, thank you. Our last question, what one thing have you accomplished in office that recommends you for re-election?
Well, I am so glad you asked that question. I have championed and authored bipartisan support legislation that creates opportunity for people who have been found with criminal history in our criminal justice system. And I am so happy to say that it did receive bipartisan support for people who have had criminal records with misdemeanors or some nonviolent felonies to have their records restricted and sealed, because this puts people back to work. It creates opportunity of another chance, because a second chance may have already happened, but another chance for them to rebuild their lives. We get one every day. Yesterday was yesterday, today is today, with a new opportunity, another opportunity, and tomorrow, if we see it, will be another. So I believe that we put people back to work by giving them another chance to rebuild their lives through workforce, through education, and through housing. All of those are barriers, lifetime barriers. And prior to that legislation passing, there was nothing on the record in Georgia that would allow someone to have their record restricted and sealed. So it builds our workforce, it creates safer communities, and it helps us to build Georgia, a stronger Georgia.
Okay, awesome, thank you. And thank you for answering the top questions that our citizens have submitted. At this time, can you close us out with any further information about yourself or your campaign that you would like the voters to know?
So, again, I am Tonya Anderson. The benefit of re-electing me is that the relationships have been built, the work has been done, the work will continue to be done, and I look forward to serving Newton County. As I said before, it is a delight to serve. My social media is Instagram at Senator Anderson 43. My Facebook is Friends of Senator Tonya P. Anderson, and my Twitter, which I visit not so often, is Elect Tonya. I am delighted to be the best senator of District 43 that it has ever seen, and I appreciate the support, and I look forward to continually serving.
Thank you.